Hi, my name's Daniel, and this is the first in a series of videos that we're going to be making looking at simple DIY jobs that people can do on their houses themselves without necessarily having to involve the cost of a professional tradesman. Simple jobs using simple tools that everybody has lying around the house, or if you don't, are fairly cheap to go and buy at your local hardware store. The main thing that we're looking at here is how you can put value on your property through simple little things that can be done. Now, to begin with, today I'm going to be looking at this rather tired, shabby door that I've got here. Perfectly good door, fits well, nothing wrong with it. But if I go through the house and change the door handles, change the doors with new, simple, cheap ones that I've bought from my local hardware store, I can put a significant increase in the value of this property. Okay, so if you come and take a little bit of a closer look, you can see here this hinge isn't as common as you'd see nowadays. This is actually called a rising butt hinge, and what happens as the door opens, can you see this? It actually is lifted up by the hinge so it rises off the floor. See it going down there? Now the advantage of that is if your floor isn't completely even, it doesn't jag on the bottom, and also if you've got carpet on the floor, it doesn't get that awful scraping of the carpet all the way along. So you can get quite a tight fitting door, which is better for sound insulation, and a lovely open on the carpet without any problems. Now, one other advantage, it's also very good for us because all we have to do, simply open the door and lift it off. Cut. Okay, so here we are. Because it's a rising butt, you can fortunately just lift the door straight off and out to our workstation. Okay, so here we are. Now, we know that this door was a pretty good fit, so what we're going to do is simply transfer the measurements off this door onto our new door. And to do that, I've made a little drawing here showing the position of the hinges and the latch, and I'm going to measure this door up and write them there. Now, here we are. 1965 overall measurement, and the first hinge exactly 180 millimeters down from the top there, so 180. Measuring from the bottom up, we have exactly 235 millimeters there. 235. I'll just double check that measurement. Yep, 235. Now width 760. Yep, same. Excellent. Let's put that there. Always important to measure all the way around. Now, there we are. We've got all of our measurements. Okay, so we know what our measurements are. Now we're going to transfer the measurements from this door onto our new door. Right, now here we are. Packaging is all off, and if you actually look to the top, you can see there that it says lock. So you know that that's the lock side. This means this is the hinge side. So I'm going to write a big H on that side, T for the top, just so I don't forget, B for the bottom. Right, so looking at my drawing, 1965 on this side, mark that there, over to the other side, 1960 on this side. Right, so here we are. I'm using a spirit level as my straight edge. This is because my 2 points that I marked aren't quite equal and I need a straight line between them. You can use anything, you don't have to use a spirit level, just as long as it is straight all the way along. There we are, marked. Now, if you find that you need to trim down the side, obviously what you need to do, if you don't have a straight edge which is long enough to do the entire door in one hit, is to split the difference halfway. So if it was 5mm there and 10 at the top, 5 here, 7 in the middle, 10 at the top, and join them together in 2 parts, like so. But we're lucky, we don't have to do that stage. Okay, so I've got my saw and I'm ready to begin. Now, at this point, I'm going to use the services of my trusty assistant, Lara. Say hello, Lara. Right, now, I'm just moving the door to the side of the pasting table. If you don't have an assistant to help you hold the door down, like I do, what I suggest, as mentioned earlier, use a set of these speed clamps. They're about £15–20 from your local hardware store. Always best to have an assistant with you though. Now I've just moved the table down to make sure that I've cleared the pasting table, so I'm not going to saw into that. Right, Lara, can you help me as well? Can you just push down your weight on there? Excellent, lovely. Now I'm going to start at this end, use my left hand as a guide, draw back on the pencil line. There we are. Now the thing about sawing, very simple exercise, what you've got to concentrate on is that you keep this blade straight. If this blade is straight as it's going in and out of the cut, then your cut's going to wind up straight. If you'll find yourself going to the side, obviously it isn't. Don't focus on the energy you're putting into sawing, focus on the accuracy of your cut. That's very important. This is our block plane. I'm just going to run the block plane along the bottom. So we don't have any rough dags. Okay, now if you don't have a block plane, not a problem, just use a piece of sandpaper with a little foam block or cork block. That's absolutely fine. There we are. Right, next step. Put that on the side, put this on the top, take it to there, and then tighten that up. Double check, a little bit more. There we are, tighten that up. Triple check, yep, perfect. Now, take that measurement down the side, run it along. There we are. Take the hinge, put it in position, mark the end. There we are, ready to go. Now, the next step is we have to rebate, that is take out this wood here to the same depth as that hinge, which looks to me to be about 2 to 3 millimeters. So we're going to cut that out from here. Okay. Right, now we've got to rebate here, which is to set in for the hinge. So we've got to cut this wood out to the same depth so that we can set the hinge in. Now the easiest way to do this, use the combination square again, and we set it to the depth, the thickness of the metal of the hinge there, which we've already done. Come along with our pencil, hold the block and run a line along there. Same on the other end. There we are, run a line along there. And we've already marked out the ends of the hinge. So that's the depth that we're going to be cutting to. Okay, so now we're going to rebate for the hinge. Now you may need an extra set of hands to help you stabilise the door at the moment. Hello, Lara. Now I'm going to stand like this over here. First things first, Stanley knife, just a cheapie. I'm going to mark out. Now the reason we do this, and it's important to try and keep your cuts on the inside of those pencil lines. The reason we do this is so when we're chiseling, what we're cutting off is restricted to the area of the hinge and we don't go splitting the door down the length. There we are. Let's put that in. There we go. Now what I'm going to do is turn the chisel over, starting in the middle, and just take a very shallow cut all the way along. Careful not to go too deep at any one point. Now the important thing is to always use this pencil mark as your guide and never go beneath that. So just lightly tapping, controlling the depth with your hand. There. Now you can come along, go back over, just so you make sure you don't cause a split down the length. Now just getting those last little bits out with the chisel this way, always remembering to keep both hands behind the end of the blade. Perfect, I think that should be a good fit. Let's have a look. There we go, excellent. Next step, quickly hold that there, right in position, perfect. There we are. Mark to the centre each one of these holes so we can pilot drill for our screws and screw those in. That's our next job. Now I'm going to use a very small drill bit, 1.5mm drill bit, drill down in a straight line, just to pilot hole that so that the screw can go in more easily. Now if you don't have a drill, what you can do, just get a large old nail, give it a bit of a tap, put it out, do the next one, little wiggle. Don't go in too far with that, but it just helps the screw go in as it begins. There we are, place that on there, perfect. Put that right in the hole there. Yep. Straight line. Apply some pressure, using my fingers to hold it, there we go. And that's it. Last screw in, and we are ready to rehang our door. Excellent. Let's go in. So here we are. We'll just put the door in position. Bottom hinge on first. Okay, there we are, one hung door. But what we found is when we went to close the door, it's not quite shutting properly. So what you do in this situation, we're just going to plane a little bit off the top with the block plane. Now my assistant Lara, can you close the door on me on this side? And what I'm going to do is I'm going to mark where I need to start planing it from on the other side. Okay, so you close the door on me now. Right, there we are. So I've marked the door just there. It's very little, but there's so much just along here. Okay. Right. Just put a bit of sandpaper on that. Hopefully that should be all finished, and let's see how it fits. Excellent, excellent, very good fit, perfect, wonderful. So there we are, one hung door, and obviously for our next film, how to fit a latch. Thank you.